We offer a fabulously challenging and engaging learning experience at Sheffield Business School. Students get the opportunity to study alongside other students, not just from across this country or from across this region, but from all over the world. So it's a really international experience, and living as we do in a global market, if you like, it's a really valuable experience. Also, students will be taught by academics from a range of professional and cultural backgrounds, so they'll be able to engage with that too. We enthuse and inspire our students in so many ways. I think first of all, a key way we do it is from the natural enthusiasm of our academics who are absolutely passionate about the subjects that they teach. Secondly, we have a strong emphasis on teaching and learning, with most colleagues holding either a teaching qualification or they're also a member of the HEA, or even both. We take this so seriously because we put such an emphasis on creating really strong learning environments in SBS, in the business school. We also understand that students have different learning styles. They like to learn in different ways. So we accommodate that, and we teach in different ways so that we can engage and inspire students according to their preferred learning style. We also engage in scholarly activity, with some academics doing a real focus upon research, and we build that research into our teaching, so that can be really inspiring for students because they're learning, if you like, cutting edge material. But in addition to that, many of our academics are also professional practitioners or have come from the business world or other organisations, be it the third sector or the public sector. And so they can bring real world experience into what they teach, and in that way they really bring the theory alive. There are many opportunities to engage in learning because we understand that our students have different needs and, as I mentioned earlier, different learning styles. So, for example, we might bring in speakers from the outside world, professionals who are actually practicing in business now. We have lectures, so we understand that some students like to sit and think and reflect and hear. They like to learn in that way. So we'll have formal lectures, but then again, we're aware that some students like to really engage and practically, do practical activities in order to learn. So we'll have seminars and workshops that will really support those kinesthetic learners. We also teach in ways that enable students who are perhaps extrovert learners to dive in and chat and talk as a way to learn, whilst also supporting those students who are perhaps more reflective learners, more introverted learners who like to think before they dive in. So we give the opportunity to engage all learners. If students are undertaking research projects, we'll give one-to-one supervision so they can really get that personal support as is necessary. And there are also student societies, so outside, if you like, the formal teaching, students can support their learning through our societies, and also we've got fabulous learning services that are so well resourced. I love spending time down there. We do understand that students have lots of different preferred learning styles, and so we teach in different ways. Students will have a range of different lecturers. So first of all, just as students have different learning styles, lecturers have preferred teaching styles, so they'll see a range. But I think, as I mentioned, most of the academics here have teaching qualifications, or they're fellows or even senior fellows of the Higher Education Academy. And so we're trained, if you like, to create quality learning environments. In terms of the different teaching styles, there'll be lectures that will support auditory learners, there'll be workshops and seminars that will support learners who like to take an active approach, maybe kinesthetic learners. I've even undertaken origami in classes to talk about different cultures. So we'll do some really exciting and diverse things. We do videos for students who are visual learners, podcasts as well for auditory learners, so lots of practical activities. We'll also encourage students to be autonomous learners. think, as I mentioned earlier, we've got fantastic learning centres with great resources, and we also support students in doing group work where they can engage and work with other students and share ideas. We have many pracademics. I actually like to count myself amongst them. By pracademics, I think we mean practical academics or professional academics. Academics who are still engaged in the real world out there, or who've come from a real world background. So what we do is we'll share a theory with students so that they understand the theory, but then we'll relate it to our own personal real-world experiences. Many academics come from the business world, some come from the third sector, the voluntary sector, from the public sector. Some, such as myself, have benefited from working in both the private and the public sectors, so we can compare and contrast different experiences. Just to give you an example, I started my career working in international media for international newspapers. I then moved on and worked for an international communications agency. I led a huge change there and subsequently worked in local government. So having worked in three, if you like, quite diverse areas, when we're teaching, say, theory around culture, I can really highlight the different cultures according to the different experiences I've had. And my academic or pracademic colleagues do the same. We really try to make those theories live so that students can see how relevant they are, or equally, to be critical of theory, how it might apply and where it might not apply anymore. Well, I've been really lucky. I've taught at level 4, which is our entry level, our first year undergraduates, level 5 in the second year, level 6, our final year undergraduates. I also have experience of teaching at postgraduate level, at level 7. That's students teaching, for example, learning on MBA courses and on other courses. I come, as I mentioned, from a practical background, from a professional background, having spent, nearly a quarter of a century working in newspapers, media, and also in local government. And I also run my own consultancy business. So when it comes to undertaking consultancy for clients, I know what it's like to sit on their side of the fence. And equally, I do try and use those real-world examples, those real-world experiences, to bring alive the theory that I'm teaching to both my undergraduate and postgraduate students. Well, I think first of all, what I can offer, and what many of my academics also can offer, is that practical experience. We know what it's like out there, so we can help students build their confidence by explaining to them what kind of work they'll be doing, and also showing why they're learning here, why what we're teaching in lectures, why what we're doing in seminars, why our support of their working in groups is relevant. Because of course, with the example of group work, when we get out there into the real world, we work in groups and we work in teams. So we do make the learning very relevant to the real world. And on a personal level, I also qualified in coaching and have worked as a coach and a mentor, both to colleagues. And I think that those skills I can help and support students who perhaps are feeling a little anxious to support them in understanding that they can succeed. Well, we've had some fabulous achievements too. We've had students graduating with first-class degrees. Some of my part-time students at undergraduate level have undertaken as part of their course research projects into their own workplace, and the feedback has been tremendous. A number have said that their employers have so benefited from it that they've started to take action on it. So some real successes there, and it's very, very fulfilling to see your students succeed in this way. Teaching students at master's level, one example is on the MBA course, when students have said that they believe it's led to further developing their careers, even promotions. So, real direct benefits from studying here. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege to work with our students. I thoroughly enjoy seeing them succeed. It's such an honour to attend their graduations and see them celebrate their successes and following them through the path that they've taken through their academic career. It really is a privilege, and interacting with them is well, it's fabulous. I learned so much from our own students that it's a joy. SBS helps people become successful in a number of ways through offering many opportunities. First of all, it's the learning environment. We really do put such an emphasis on a quality teaching and learning environment to give our students the best support, whether it's undergraduate, postgraduate or corporate level, to help them succeed. We offer, as we mentioned earlier, placements so that our students can get real world experience, and it's marvellous to see how they've grown when they come back. We have fabulous resources in terms of our learning centres, but also in terms of students, supporting students who want to set up their own businesses. So we have the hatchery, we have a hub that supports students in many ways, and we have careers advisors who can really help students with their CVs, in terms of how to apply for jobs. We really do support and mentor our students to help them achieve every success that they can.